안녕하십니까. 웨비나에 오신 여러분을 환영합니다. 이 웨비나는 코트라 유럽본부가 주최하는 행사이며 오늘 웨비나를 위해서 현직 전문가들께서 많은 유용한 콘텐츠로 준비하셨으니 많은 기대해 주셔도 되겠습니다. 저는 오늘 사회를 보게 된 유켈이고요. 저는 코트라 프랑크푸르트 모역관에서 마케팅팀에서 근무하고 있습니다. 저희 마케팅팀은 국내 업체와 독일 업체들의 협업 기회를 제공해드리고자 하는 목적으로 오늘 이 웨비나와 같이 여러 온라인 및 오프라인 행사를 주로 기획하고 있는데요. 현재 유럽에서 헬로를 이어서 K-뷰티 인식이 점점 더 커지는 추세이긴 하지만 아직 아쉽게도 K-뷰티에 대해서 모르는 소비자들도 있는데요. 이러한 유럽 소비자들 위해서 소비자들을 타깃하고 구매 패턴이 어떤지, 그리고 유럽 시장 수요 현황과 미래 트렌드 관련해서 다룰 예정입니다. 무엇보다 한국 국내 화장품 브랜드로서 유럽 소비자들을 어떻게 바라봐야 하는지에 대한 통찰도 제공해드리고자 오늘 이 자리를 마련했습니다. 그럼 이제 본격적으로 오늘의 프로그램을 간략히 소개하겠습니다. 첫 번째 발표는 컨설팅 업체 바이오리오스의 보근미 씨가 해주실 예정입니다. 유럽 소비자들이 중요시 여기는 클린 뷰티에 대해서 다루실 예정이시며 유럽 시장 진출 시 제품 개발 그리고 필수 인증에 대해서 다루실 예정입니다. 두 번째 연사로는 메타크루의 담당자 막시밀리안 dornbusch께서 유럽 특히 독일 소비자들의 요구사항과 그리고 피드백 문화에 대해서 소개해 주실 것입니다. 마지막 발표는 화장품 유통업체 LH 브랜드의 담당자 세라 피어틀께서 소비자들의 구매 패턴과 미래 시장 트렌드와 그리고 현재 수요에 대해서 발표하실 예정입니다. 그리고 마지막으로 패널 토론도 준비되어 있는데요. 마케팅 전략과 포장 규제, 그리고 아직 친환경적 제품을 개발하지 못한 업체는 어떤 진출 전략을 세워야 하는지 등 다양한 주제로 연사분들이 토론하는 시간을 가질 예정입니다. 추가적으로 여러분들의 문의사항과 질문들을 포함시켜 답변 드릴 시간도 되겠으니 지금부터 질문을 보내주시면 감사하겠습니다. 혹시 질문이 기사와 관련되거나 아니면 개인적인 문의사항이라면 아니면 시간상 다루지 못하게 될 경우에도 추후에 저희가 별도로 답변을 이메일로 보내드리겠습니다. 그러니 질문을 작성하실 때 누구에게 해당이 되는지 등 자세히 적어주시면 저희가 참고해서 답변을 드리겠습니다. 또 시작하기 전에 추가적으로 몇 가지 안내사항이 있는데요. 웨비나를 진행하는 동안에 음수거로 되어 있으실 거고 또한 동영상도 꺼져 있을 상태이지만 아래 채팅창이나 Q&A 박스에서 하시고 싶은 말씀이나 질문들이 있으시면 언제든지 공유하실 수 있습니다. 오늘 이 행사에서 한국어 통역으로 지원해 주실 박소은 씨에게도 감사 인사드립니다. 지금 화면에 보시다시피 한국어 통역을 듣는 방법을 참고해 주시면 되겠습니다. For English settings, please note that no action are required, but you can additionally change the language channel to English if you want. 이 웨비나는 녹화가 될 예정이고요. 추후에 시청하실 수 있도록 동영상 링크와 또 발표 자료도 공유드릴 예정입니다. 추가적으로 바이어들과의 B2B 화상 상담 모집을 위해 설문지 및 RFI를 보내드릴 예정이고 그것을 바이어들에게 전달드릴 예정입니다. 선정 기준은 유럽 시장에 진출 가능성을 가진 국내 업체와 바이어가 선정할 계획이니 이 점도 참고해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 혹시 기술적인 문제가 있으시다면 저희 모역관 코트라 프랑크푸르트 어드민에게 메시지를 보내주시면 저희 모역관 미스 레아 웨버 대리님께서 대응하실 것입니다. So, first of all, we are pleased to introduce Mrs. Eunmi Bok. She started her career as logistics specialist at Hyundai Mobis Europe, in which she increased her knowledge regarding inventory management and strategic purchasing, which later on supported her further career steps. Eunmi joined KOTRA as a marketing specialist in 2016, in which she closely worked with Korean companies and supported them to generate business in the Belgian market. After several successful years at KOTRA Brussels, Eunmi joined Biorius, her current employer, in which she currently has the position as strategic business developer as team leader for the Korean market. Hello, Eunmi. It's great to have you here today. I'm very excited, and we are all very excited to learn more about certifications and also about clean beauty. You can start your presentation and feel free to share your screen.
Thank you very much. 안녕하세요. 발표 시작하도록 하겠습니다. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So hello, my name is Eunmi. I'm in charge of business development in Korean market at Biorius. Today, we will talk about CPMP, which is essential for Korean companies to enter the European market. And also we will talk about clean beauty eco-label and eco-friendly certification, which are huge big trends these days in the beauty industry. So my presentation consists of 5 parts. First, a brief introduction of Biorius, and second, EU CPMP. Third, EU regulations for claims. Fourth, clean certification. And last, eco-label and eco-friendly certification. So Biorius is a cosmetic regulatory service provider. We are based in Belgium, where also the European Commission is mainly located. The headquarters is in Belgium, but we also have several offices in other locations like France, UK, and Luxembourg. Biorius was founded 12 years ago, and we now work with more than 800 cosmetic brands. And we have so far notified more than 15,000 products on CPMP. In addition to EU regulatory service, we also provide global regulatory services certification, safety assessment, ingredients performance assessment, medical device, chemical service. You might have heard about REACH, and also safety assessment for non-cosmetics, such as makeup tools like a brush. For global regulatory service, Biorius can cover many non-European countries, as you can see from this map. So I think you probably know about CPMP in the EU market, and there is a SCCPN for UK. I know a lot of cosmetic brands are having hard time in this process because EU regulation is very strict. But this is so important. So if you like to enter the European market successfully. So cosmetic products, they're regulated by European Cosmetics Regulation and other related regulations. The objective of this regulation is to ensure product safety and to prevent unfair commercial practices and to provide consumers with correct information and to harmonize the rules within the EU. So now, what does that mean for you? So in order to distribute cosmetic to the European market, you must ensure that your product complies with the regulation of the EU, and you have to prepare a product information file. So we call it PIF in short. So in fact, this PIF is the most important part of the whole process, rather than CPMP notification itself. A PIF consists of a huge amount of data, and it's actually an electronic folder consisting of several subfolders. So if the PIF you have is only one single PIF file, there is a high possibility that it is not really well made or not even compliant one. So, and PIF is also a dossier that needs to be updated continuously. For example, if you change your manufacturer or if you reformulate your product for some reason, all relevant parts, including CPSR, should be updated. You know, also the regulation change over time. Because of that, it is highly recommended to check and update the PIF every 5 years to keep it up to date. This slide shows the table of contents of the PIF. So you can see what the PIF practically contains. So it's a lot of information. Just, yeah. So in particular, the cosmetic safety reports called CPSR as a report that guarantees the safety of the product. So it can only be prepared and signed by qualified safety assessors. And it's defined by EU cosmetic regulations. I know many companies still think CPMP is a registration or even sometimes a certification, but it's not entirely correct. Actually, CPMP is only a notification. So what does that mean? So to better understand the difference, let's first look at, for example, China. In case of China, CFDA must be granted in advance, as you might know already, and it has to be approved by the authorities to sell the products to the Chinese market. So at this time, the authorities check the safety of the product through prior supervision. So even if there is a problem in the future, the authority will be responsible for this because they gave the green light to sell the products. But Europe is different because cosmetic brands or their distributors prepare PIFs by themselves and notify products to CPMP. And authorities inspect the compliance while your products are in the market. So when a serious legal issue comes up, for instance, by investigation by the authorities, your responsible person will take the responsibility. The simple notification itself, it's actually advantage for brands, but on the other hand, because there is no separate approval process by authorities, you might not realize if your PIF is not compliant or your RP is incompetent. That's why it is very important to designate a cosmetic regulatory expert as your responsible person. So now let's look at the EU claims regulation. In order to make compliant claims, you need to check many laws and regulations. First of all, you have to follow definition of cosmetics in the EU cosmetic regulation. So you have to ensure that your product is within cosmetic range in the EU. In addition to this, we need to look at common criteria, which describes the standards related to label with more details. So I'll explain the common criteria in more detail in the next slide. EU marketing claims should also consider recommendations by European Union, and there are also many other guidelines. It also depending on the country where you sell your products, because there are 27 member states. There are cases where it is necessary to follow an addition country-specific guidelines. For instance, France and Italy are very strict with the translations on the label. So if you did not translate the text into their national languages, you might have a problem already in the customs. So like I just mentioned, there are 6 big rules for claims regulated by common criteria. So the first thing is legal compliance. In other words, you cannot claim what you are obliged to follow anyways. For example, non-animal tested. this is not allowed to use because this is already prohibited in the EU market. And also safe cosmetics or your ingredients are safe. This is something you have to follow. You are obliged to comply. So you cannot claim such claims on your packaging. The second is truthfulness. So if the product contains only a small amount of ingredients, or sometimes it does not contain any of them, you cannot claim related to this ingredients on your packaging. The third is evidence supports. All claims actually must be scientifically supported. It's not always required to provide a clinical test. You can support with the different kinds of evidential supports, such as scientific thesis or consumer test, depending on the claims. So sometimes, and sometimes active ingredients can directly support the claims, so you don't even need to provide any evidence. So fourth, so honesty. This is very important. The claims relate to the efficacy of the product should not be exaggerated and should not be used to compare with your competitors. For example, the claim you cannot claim that you have a better product or better raw materials in this product because it's not very objective. The fairness is closely related to free from claims. This part will be discussed in more details in the next slides because it's very important. Finally, cosmetic brands should provide appropriate information so that consumers can recognize the information they need when choosing a product. So this information should be easily accessible. So let's briefly look at the free from claims I just mentioned. So European authorities control very strictly against the free from or does not contain claims, for example. Therefore, instead of focusing on what your product does not contain, we advise you to focus what your product actually contains, some positive points. However, a few exceptions apply. For instance, for the family oral products like a toothpaste, children can use together. The no alcohol claims can be used as this represents important information. So now, if you're thinking that's very confusing and complicated, I believe using clean certification will be most effective way to signal to the consumers that your product consists of safe ingredients. Clean beauty certification logos can give consumers confidence, of course, and brands can express the value of your products without having a long text on the packaging. As eco-friendly related claims are very, very trendy across the world, a lot of brands use different marketing claims, but the cosmetic brands have to pay attention if you can sustain to sustain your claims. In January this year, European Commission and national authorities conducted an online investigation to identify the not compliant cases, not just for cosmetic, for other product categories as well. So they do this every year, but this year they for the first time they focused on greenwashing. As a result, half of green claims were exaggerated or even false, lack of evidence. So the authorities, they announced they will prioritize greenwashing, and then they will control more strict in the future. So now let's check what's clean beauty and how to be clean beauty products. Actually, there is no official definition of what is clean and what is clean cosmetics. The meaning differs a lot from one brand to another, one country to another, even differ from consumers to another. So this concept originally started in the US, where the cosmetic regulation is actually almost in existence. So brands got this idea to claim clean the benefit of their products compared to others. This was the start. As explained earlier, there is no official definition of clean beauty, but in the EU, clean beauty usually meets this following requirement. So first of all, of course, clean cosmetics should be safe. It means that it does not contain harmful substances and does not harm the skin because it is safe. And next, the clean beauty also should should use natural and sustainable ingredients for the raw materials in the products. Another condition is on environmental perspective. For example, the formula should be biodegradable, and the packaging should also be composed of biodegradable ingredients. So, and last condition is the value pursued by the brand that sells clean beauty products. The brand pursuing clean beauty value animal welfare and human rights, and when choosing raw materials, they should also have an attitude such as choosing the raw materials that are fairly traded. In the European Union, actually the clean beauty claim is legally speaking at the borderline. This is because there is possibility that it might go against one of the common criteria. You remember the 6 common criteria I listed in the beginning of the presentation. The first one was legal compliance. For example, saying that the product is safe or writing that it does not contain toxic substances goes against the legal compliance category. This cannot be claimed as it is anyway your obligation to comply. So in order to use clean beauty as a marketing claim in the European Union, it's very important that to contain additional value in addition to safety. As I just said a few slides before, there is no official definition of clean. So many distributors created their own standards. For example, you know Sephora. Sephora qualifies products as clean based on some exclusion of number of ingredients. There is a list. And additionally, it awards the Clean Plus Planet Positive certificate if the brand is committed to fight climate change or the product follows sustaining sourcing practices, responsible packaging, and environmental protection. The second, in the case of Douglas, as is shown in this table, the products exclude a certain ingredients here and also guarantee animal protection. Then you are eligible for clean beauty. In the case of Olive Young in Korea, in order to be part of their clean zone, the product should not contain 16 ingredients suspected of being harmful to the human body. And furthermore, the brands should practice either animal protection or environmental protection. There's also other distributors, but they name differently, but in the same context. In response to this jungle of different clean beauty certificates and different requirements, Biorius created a certification that can cover all different clean beauty standards. So it is not easy to obtain, but it has the benefit of being able to meet any criteria wherever you distribute. Biorius clean certification mainly requires, of course, the product safety and environmental protection and any animal protection, eco-friendly activities, and human rights activities, and minimal ingredients. As you have seen, to become a clean product, it's very tough. There are a lot of many different requirements. In order to obtain clean beauty certification, strategically, this condition must be considered in very early stage when you start to think about your product. And especially, it is also very important to choose a good manufacturer who's capable to provide all the documentation and very cooperative. Otherwise, it can be very difficult. So the last part is eco-label and eco-friendly certification. So nowadays, the consumers care about the environment more than ever. The official certification for using eco-friendly claims is eco-label. It's created by the European Union. It entered into force in 1993 with an official certification initiated by the European Commission. The purpose is, of course, to reduce the negative environmental impact from consumers' goods. The eco-label certification requires a very high environmental standards, an entire life cycle from production to disposal. In addition to cosmetic eco-labels, there are other products categories such as clothing, detergent, and paint. They can also use eco-label if eligible. And for the cosmetics, currently only rinse off products, the wash off, you say, are eligible for eco-label, but from next year, the leave-on products can be also using eco-label, can be the good candidates. Okay, here's the criteria for eco-label criteria for ingredients and packaging. The eco-label, it's very deep and complete evaluation of the ingredients and the packaging. So the cosmetic brands must have a very good knowledge of your ingredients and good control of whole supply chain. So the brand should also have this in mind, this criteria and the ecological impact of your products during the development and the choice of the ingredients. And of course, the design of the packaging. Biorius can help you to obtain eco-label. Our regulatory experts can check eligibility of your ingredients and packaging, also prepare a dossier to submit to the independent organization. As it's very strict, it will take a lot of time and the cost to obtain eco-label, but you will be able to use the official logo on your packaging, and then consumers will trust your products. As an alternative, Biorius offers eco-friendly certification. This is based on eco-label criteria, but relatively easy in terms of a price and time. So, and you can also first apply for the eco-label because it takes time. You can also use eco-friendly logo until you obtain the official eco-label. Biorius provides many other certifications as listed here, including clean certification and eco-friendly. You can always check the criteria of each certification on our website. The Korean version is available. So I hope my presentation was useful, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the great input in me. I've learned a lot about certifications and about the current trends of clean beauty. And yeah, the Q&A box is now ready for the questions to be submitted, and we will later share them with you during the panel discussion. We can also arrange meetings with Eunmi, and you can send us your RFI or the questionnaire and let us know that you are interested in having a consultation with Biorius. Next up, we delightfully welcome Mr. Maximilian Dornbusch. He finished his master studies in business administration and wrote his master thesis with Metacrew on organizational culture development. Here, he had his first encounter with the company and was employed back in 2019 as business development manager for Metacrew. His task focuses on holistic projects, development of new B2B products, integrated marketing solutions for customers and brands based on our services and expertise. At the moment, Max is the main contact for the implementation of the Korean Beauty Box, product selection of Korean brands, and creation of first touch points for Korean brands with German customers. Welcome, Max. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, Harry. Annyeonghaseyo, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you also to Eunmi for her presentation. It was very insightful and showed a lot of important factors when entering the German, the European market in general. So very helpful. Also in the end, for companies to look work with Eunmi and Biorius. And then because for us at Metacrew, CPMP registrations and other certifications are always a very important factor when we consider brands. So it was very good to have Eunmi here starting today to present her topic. For me, I would like to give you more insights today on consumer demands and feedback culture, and here especially what that means for us at the Metacrew group, how we use feedback by our consumers to relate them into their demands on the market. So it's rather the approach is the opposite way around, because we see the topic consumer demands and feedback culture. For us, this is vice versa. So we use the feedback culture of our customers to then generate demands to also have a look at developments and new trends on the market. What are the customers asking to apply those with our portfolio of products, also with the approach on the German market. First of all, I would like to give you a short introduction on the company, focus or explain you then quickly about D2C ecosystem we have, so direct to consumer approach. We'll then give you a few examples on the feedback culture and how these relate into consumer demands on the market. Also, some insights of previously brands that we had already in our portfolio that we helped already on the German market, and then actually to have a quick look on what opportunities leaves this for you as a Korean brand, or how we can help you in the end. I can skip through this. Here, thank you again. Already quickly presented me, so rather focus on our company. So to give you a short introduction on Metacrew, we are a direct-to-consumer e-commerce platform. We have several steps in our ecosystem that I will explain to you in a short second. At the same time, we are also have two end clients. So the end consumer that you want to approach with your products, but our other clients are you, the manufacturers. And we are in the end also a B2B company, helping with marketing services, helping to bring brands and connect them to our clients, to our customers, to get touch points, to help them to establish brands and awareness in Germany. We have different platforms for that that I will show you. At the moment, we have over approximately 1 million customer data and end consumer relations in our database. So really focused end consumers that we have good contacts with, are still increasing sales per year, are quite fast growing in Germany in the company. And with our marketing activities, we reach customers, we reach new customers, and this would be very helpful for you. Our main part is the subscription-based surprise boxes, and we are here working in the both areas of the FMCG area, so beauty and food area. But for you, the main focus are the boxes on the left-hand side, where we really can address different target groups. So really approach our customers with your goals, what target group you want to reach out to, from very young customers to middle-aged customers, or like people like that rather focus on anti-aging products and similar stuff. And in the end, these boxes are the perfect link between your brand and your target customer in Germany. And this is for us always a very important first step, because it's the easiest or quickest way to first get in touch with your end customers and potential target group, at the same time to receive feedback and find out insights directly by the customer about your products, about how well it fits on the German market and to the German target groups. To quickly show you what I mean by our boxes, I wanted to show you two of them today. Usually our customers receive these boxes at their homes, so they can have or unpack them at their home. So it's a really good step, because we always say you enter the home already, and makes it easier for you to enter the relevant set of a customer and be then afterwards considered when making purchases. The focus of our boxes is always like a mix of known brands, new brands, upcoming startups, and we really focused over this year also on new brands, or like especially for my job on Korean beauty brands that are new to the market as well. And because we see the potential, please excuse me, we see the potential for especially new brands when they enter the market. Quickly showing you the D2C ecosystem. We have three parts here, and this makes us probably very interesting for you as the manufacturers as well, because first of all, this is our core business. On the left-hand side, the subscription boxes that I quickly showed you as well. This is how we started in the beginning, seeing ourselves rather as a marketing company helping to address customers and create awareness. We also build up different web shops in the beauty industry and the food industry, allowing us also to act as a distributor for you, having a complete approach to the customer, from marketing to reaching them in different touch points, but also to make sales possible in the end, and also different testing platform where we really focus on getting deep market insights or like customer insights on products. This allows us, or gives us a lot of data, and because we know we have a very good feedback culture in our ecosystem, so people and testers want to give feedback. Customers in Germany and Europe, they want to give feedback, they want to be heard, they want to be involved. And this allows us to gather so much data around products, around our web shops, user data, that we can really use, analyze well, and put together to develop new products, to help you in marketing strategy, to help you in implementation strategy and different approaches to really develop your product or like implement it successfully on the German market. To give you a few examples, we had different experiences with Korean beauty brands and successful promotions in our beauty boxes this year already. Different products, different aspects, different main focuses, like Jejeon, for example, with a very clear natural focus. And depending on the products, we really are able to address the right target groups and the right target audience, where we always focus on promotions, awareness, marketing services, and also feedback, which is the basic part and the most important part for you to understand or get a better understanding on the German culture. So at the same time, so besides every product being like, so in every product in these boxes is usually rated by our end customers with questions like whether they would purchase it again, whether they can recommend it, they give star ratings and further insight. But we also wanted to know in the beginning of the year, okay, how well is Korean beauty already established in Germany? So we conducted some additional market research in our beauty box with our customers. And we reached over 2,800 of our customers through these market research. We know that our customers are highly interested in beauty products. They're very innovative already and opinion leaders. They're open to new products and probably more open than the general German market. And yeah, we used our boxes to get some research or like get some feedback. And our main problem or like realization was that, yeah, we, although seeing a rise in Korean beauty niche in Germany, seeing that it's like thriving and growing quite quickly, we had to realize that almost 80% of our customers did not really know Korean beauty yet, and focused here on a very specific target audience in Germany. If I apply this to the whole market in Germany, then this number of people not knowing Korean beauty is probably still increasing. At the same time, we saw or like analyzed then, okay, what are the issues behind it, or like why did they not buy Korean beauty products yet? And yeah, showing the same problem here, that 85% didn't buy it yet, and most reason is, okay, we didn't search for it, so it's not been in the relevant set or just didn't know about it. And this leaves us as well, like, okay, between like consumer demands and like feedback that we receive, okay, we see that there is an uprising market niche, but still there is like a lot of potential and people not really knowing about Korean beauty yet, showing us that we also have to do together a lot more on explanation, education on the market, creating awareness as well. When we have a proper look at the individual products, however, we really realize that yeah, most brands that are new to the market and unknown yet, obviously because we also chose products here that are not available on the German market yet. But we figured as well that's like we receive very positive feedback for all these products, high recommendation rates, high overall star ratings, like, and above average values here. So people understand or like have the feeling as well that afterwards these are even better than the normal products. And to sum this up, maybe like to this feedback and market research we did, and our knowledge on the German market as well, or like seeing the demands here as well, is that, okay, on the one hand side, Korean beauty is still very unknown in Germany. Understood. German customers, they're very cautious, and trust is a very important factor. So when seeing new products coming on the market, we are rather careful in trying them out, and we would only buy or like start buying products after we have tried it out. So the test culture is very important. Also, like yeah, creating trust through personal recommendations by peers and my friends and family is very important. So, and this goes well together. Once I tried out a product, I'm also willing to then recommend it to my friends and families. At the same time, knowing once I tried a product and proved it to be good, German customers are rather, yeah, rather like stick with a company, stick with a brand, are very loyal customers. And the last part, made in Korea, and we all know that Korean beauty brands have usually very high quality and high standards as well. And it's just not perceived that well yet in Germany. So if I look at the US market, when you go there as your brand, usually people buy because they know Korean beauty brands are really, really high quality, and we still are lacking this perception yet here in Germany. Yeah, this leads us to yeah, factors or like tasks that we have to do and that we see as a marketing company as well, where we can help you with. We want to enhance the reach and awareness for K-beauty. We need to generate trial contacts for your brands. We have to bring your brand to the market and spread it among people, that we can really test it out, because we know once people test it, people recommend it and refer it to others because they realize how good the quality is. And we need to do some more storytelling and educate our customers especially if I look at some of the products like toner, essences. These are still products that sometimes need still some clarification, how to use them, when to use them, because it's not commonly known yet on a general market. One step we did so for that this year is that we as Metacrew and Beautylove company together in combination with the KOTRA, with a great help of the KOTRA, had a shared project, the Korean Beauty Box, that we launched onto the market. It's now available as well, where we try to, we only have Korean brands in this box. We try to focus at first on the 10-step skincare approach here to really, help people that are new to the whole Korean beauty aspect to get a start here, to have education, to have people explaining about the different steps, and to just try it out, have a chance to get like high value products for a very good price, to really get a first insight into the market. And we have also, as feedback is important for us, and we always strive to be better and become better, get the best products or like the best approach to our customers. We also did some research here as well. But first of all, here you see the products that are included in this Korean beauty box. So the only product that is already very well established in the German market is the brand Benton. Otherwise, there's like still some brands like Hanskin, Holika, I'm in Love, Rosat, that are completely too new to the German market, German-speaking market, for which we said, okay, we want to create reach and awareness through our website, through our own newsletters, search engine advertising, social media ads, influencer campaigns. So there's a lot of marketing activities that we did so far for the box, and we are still doing in the next upcoming months as well, to create this really, or like to fulfill the potential, or like to create new potential for these brands. At the same time, and this is what it's all about, consumer feedback culture. We said we have to ask our customers as well, again, how they like the product, what we can improve in the future. And we found out, first of all, that most people so far that bought these boxes found out about it on social media. As you can see here, 48% of the buyers bought it there, or from our internal newsletters. This shows that we have a very good approach, or like a very close connection to our customers, and we really, if we advise them or like present them something new, they're very open to it. Means a lot as well here, but social media shows us as well that people are looking digitally for new products. They are looking online to find out about new brands, and this is how we can approach them as well. The reasons behind it, of course, there was like value for money was a big reason, but as you can also see, like over 40% of people said that they wanted to test new products, they wanted to try it out, and also like for some of them, K-beauty is already part of the routine, and that's where they thought, okay, let's try out new brands. But overall, over 90% of these customers are very happy to receive a second one, and we also have a very, very good overall feedback so far. This is probably one of our best beauty boxes we have launched and implemented on the market so far. So a great potential for the future. This was so far a one-time project, but like has a lot of potential for the next year as well, to have new additions, new brands that we can present through this. Also, the overall ratings on the different products are also very satisfying. So 5 stars is the highest, very, very satisfying, far above average ratings of our beauty products in general. So shows again how good the quality is. And so this in the end is very important as well, that we have this approach where continuous feedback is always in every step we do important for all our activities. We use the approach to our customers in every step, from product development, from market implementation and marketing services. So we have the touch points to our customers from the beginning, and we can so build up a brand already while we are still in the developing processes. And this is where, like, one of the main advantages where we can help you as well, with our experience and the access to our target groups and our customers and enthusiastic customers. We can make use of them and provide support to activate these target groups, motivate them to test the products, but also help you to build up positive influence on your sales and advertisement, build up brand ambassadors, or like build up people knowing your brand and advocating them in their peer groups. So to have like a very a social aspect besides usual marketing activities that we also need, but to also have like people like word of mouth and talking to their friends and creating positive aspects for your brand. And this experience allows us to bring you to the German market and to help you to establish your brand successfully on the German market over some time, because we made the experience and we want to make that clear as well. It's not easy. German target customers are not easy. And if we come to talk together, we always make this very clear from the beginning that we are on the same level of expectations to really have a happy cooperation together in the long run. And that's very important for us. As I showed you the D2C platforms earlier, these allow us, as I said, through data we collect, to really provide you with services that allow you to receive feedback, that allow us to receive feedback and translate them into consumer demands, to get feedback for you, how you can develop and further optimize your products, and so on, how you can optimize marketing strategy. So it goes from the word of mouth aspects to samplings and recommendations we receive for you. We do market research, data analytics, allowing us also, because it's a continuous product, to develop your product in real time and based on real consumer data. And of course, as I said in the beginning, we come from a marketing agency and do still everything in-house, and can you help you also with long-term marketing strategy together. And this approach allows us to develop, if we look at the new development, new product development, it's the right word, our end consumers are integrated in every step on the way. And this is we look at it step by step, but at every moment we ask our customers, we help our customers. So it's a co-creation process to really make sure that, of course, in the end, we have the market demand as well, like that we base our decisions on the feedback we get to really implement the consumer demands also in the development process already. And through our concepts, we also include AI-based data analytics. This is an example for a food product now, but we also have the same for like beauty products. We just recently developed our own Beautylove natural cosmetics brand, and we did it exactly the same way. In the product development, we asked our customers what is important for them, how does their beauty routine look like. We asked them about ingredients, main ingredients that are important for them. We then, after the development ended, we also included them in our product packaging to what is important, that how it looks like, what should be said on the packaging and so on, so to really find out. And based on all their answers, the artificial intelligence then analyzes the most important aspects to really help and give recommendations for strategy, for product development, in the communication and marketing strategy, for the product packaging, to make sure and enable a very positive and a successful implementation of the product. This is just to show you how it started, kind of. I will not go into more detail, but just how many people gave feedback here, showing us about their current beauty routines, what products they used so far, that we can then deduct the main important aspects of the products and implement them together in our own products. And the real positive aspect of this real data product development is that our end consumer is already part of the launch campaign and part of the development campaign. We recruit testers, we advertise it, and then people like test it, and everything happens on the same touch points with our end customers, that we can have a threefold positive aspect through our D2C touch points. And the advantages is that, we have a high conversion in the end. We have very bulletproof market introduction. We already create pull factors and push factors that we receive in the development phase, already product reviews. So before we launch a product on the market, we already have feedback, product reviews, and star rating. Throughout the whole process, by integrating the customers, we receive brand advocates or generate or like create them. Have micro influencers already talking on social media, showing pictures on social media, and in the end, the most important part, it's real data based, including pilot phasing, because we test the products before we actually go into mass production in these customers, and allows us then in the end to market or use these feedback in market and advertising assets. And this allows us in the end to, as I said before, besides developing new products or like implementing new products, also just in the same way to help you entering the German market, in incorporating feedback on all stages in the process, and allowing you in the long run to be very successful in the German market. And this is from my side so far. I hope I didn't take too much time here right now. Otherwise, please interrupt me. If you have questions afterwards, I would really hope get into more detail with you later on. If you have questions, feel free to ask them at any time. We are here to help you and find the right solutions for the market, and to also show you in more detail how we make use of customer feedback to deduct or like derive the consumer demands on the German market to make your implementation successful on the market.
Thank you, Max, for your great input and about your perception on into German customers. I've learned a lot, and I think this gave us all a great perception into the feedback culture and how to improve products to getting better feedback in the future. Please feel free to submit your questions you have for Max, and he will later then answer them in the panel discussion session. Now it's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Sarah Viertel. Sarah finished her mechanical engineering degree at TU in Darmstadt. During her master studies, she looked for a part-time job, and by chance, she got in touch with LH Brands, which is her current employer. She immediately started working as a branch manager, and due to the pandemic and given internal opportunities, she quickly took over more responsibilities and stayed with LH Brands after completing her master degree. Sarah quickly got a lot of experience in the areas of sales and marketing, and she took over the management of their offline store branches in Frankfurt and Hamburg. Sarah is also responsible for the acquisition of new B2B clients, sourcing new exciting brands from Korea, and representing LH Brands in events such as our webinar today. Sarah and her CEO, Erwin, are working very closely as both share the same vision of the company and the company's goals. This gives Sarah a great opportunity to be creative and work within her passion for Korean beauty products. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, annyeonghaseyo, and thank you for this beautiful introduction, and thanks to Maximilian and Eunmi for their very informative presentations. So let's start my screen sharing.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
Just a second. Well, my name is Viertel, and I'm from the LH Brands GmbH, and we're also the founder of Korean Beauty House. You might have seen these logos in the past, and today I'm going to talk about K-beauty trends, especially in Europe, from the perspective of a distributor here based in Europe. So today, it's all about our company, a little brief introduction, and also our best sellers, what we are selling in general, what's very popular in Europe, new trends, future prospects, which is very interesting for you as a Korean brand, and finally, how to establish Korean beauty in Europe. So, like I've already mentioned, we're a professional and leading European distributor. We are focused on Korean beauty, and we have about 10 years of experience now. We were founded in, our company was founded back in 2009. So this one here is a little overview about our brands. I mean, not every brand we currently distribute is listed here. It's just an overview, and we're adding more and more brands. Maybe you have joined a webinar before where I presented our company. And as you can see, we have many new brands now. They will be launched beginning of December. Some are already available. And it all started here with Nisha. So this one was our first brand back in 2009. And you can see there are many brands. Some of them we have the exclusive rights, especially for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And yes, thanks to that. It all began in 2009, and then we expanded continuously, and we opened our first shop in 2014, which is very important. So we have local shops, which is not really common, but normally most distributors, they focus on e-commerce or B2B clients. So we have the whole portfolio. We have B2B business, B2C business, we have everything, and local shops, including all that. Despite the pandemic, we are able to remain these stores open. They're all registered as drugstores. And as you can see, we continuously expand. And at the moment, we have 5 local shops, which I will show you later on. So wholesale, B2B, B2C, we are experienced in establishing brands. We have exclusive rights and many other points, and therefore if you want to enter the market, I mean, you have to start somewhere and you need a distributor. We're the right one for you, and we're happy to start the business. So to give you a little overview about our channels, it's the B2C channel is our main store, kbeautyhouse.de, where all these offline stores belong to as well. We also have monobrand websites, which are very important to increase the brand's awareness. So if you want a European website, just contact us and we will do so. We have the B2B distribution. I have to say here, we need to update this because every day new B2B clients register and receive exclusive access to our B2B platform. We have an online shop for that as well. We have now about 300 B2B clients, and of course, this number is increasing. And also B2B key accounts, which means like Douglas and Flaconi, which will be important for you later on. So if we start a cooperation with a Korean brand, we're doing a test order, we're launching this brand at our B2C and B2B channels at first, means especially our B2B clients, the normal K-beauty retailers, are able to purchase these products, and in a short time, you're able to reach a whole market in Europe, and people who are well-known, who know what it means to distribute or to sell Korean beauty to normal end customers. So this one is how you can enter and where we sell these products. Just to give a brief overview about our headquarters, this one is an example how our shops look like, and we have a warehouse which is 600 square meters, so we have a lot of space. Our second warehouse is ready now. This one is additional 800 square meters. Therefore, at this point, we're expanding and we're adding more brands, and therefore, great opportunity maybe for you as well to enter the market. So these are our local shops, just an overview where they are based. So 2 in Austria and 3 including our headquarters here in Germany. And this one is our web presence, just to show. This one is the normal B2C of online store, which means our website. For B2C customers, they can purchase the product directly. It's updated regularly. And this one is the same shop just for B2B clients. So it's very easy for B2B clients to get a new update about new brands, about anything else. They're able to purchase easily, to get to know more about the products, etc. Now, which is mainly the most important part, what's bestseller, what to register first. Especially, I'm frequently asked from the side of Korean brands, what should I CPNP register first? Or what does the customer need in here in Europe, or especially in Germany, depending on the market you want to enter. So these ones are the best sellers in Europe. It's still all about the sunscreen, because in Europe, normally we have very sticky sunscreen, which is not comparable to the Korean one. So normally it leaves a white cast, and the Korean one does not. So people are fascinated that you have the SPF protection, UVA and UVB at the same time, and a very high protection, and also this light consistency. So this one sells very good. People are a huge fan. We sell a lot of these. I will give you some numbers at my next slide. Also, these little trial kits, very good for marketing. They're very great to test out. So if a customer is unsure what he wants, and if he wants to test out and does not want to purchase all these huge bottles, because you have to use them out, and therefore these small little quantities, they're perfect. And so if you have anything like that, this one is great to register first. Also, liquid consistencies are quite popular, like serums and also the cleanser. So people love a lot of these Korean products, and especially what represents Korean beauty represents variety. And therefore, we are offering not only various brands from Korea, but also various products. So there's something for every single customer. Whatever you want, there's a solution for your skin type. Here is a little overview from our bestsellers, but I have to mention that, of course, Misha was the first brand we launched. It's the first one, so it's the most popular one. We invested a lot of money into the marketing, which was quite difficult through the years, but we reached that Misha is well known here. It's available at Douglas, Flaconi, and so many other stores. And of course, this sunblock is one of the most popular ones. But as you can see, there's also this makeup section, which is sold very well at our market. And now we're having this one, for example, as well. So the typical double cleansing from Korea is becoming more popular as well. So it depends on how you evaluate these data. but based on our numbers, that's it. So for you, if you have any sunscreen, which is a typical Korean sunscreen, this product will be highly demanded in the future. And what does the customer need, or what is he looking for at a K-beauty store, or also at maybe a normal retailer? So people are searching these here. You can see the terms which are searched frequently. So people are searching for things they know, like aloe vera, a very popular ingredient. Most people know it. They're looking for natural ingredients. Also, the snail serums are quite popular still. And therefore, if you have a product with many natural ingredients, it's a good start here to enter the European market. Also, active ingredients. Consumers are very conscious these days. They're looking for specific effective ingredients like niacinamide, but I know that nearly every product nowadays from Korea offers features like niacinamide. Also, hyaluronic acid is very popular. Vitamin C, so also brightening and whitening ingredients, they are quite popular because you can't purchase them easily normally in Europe. Many European brands, they focus on moisturizing ingredients or anti-aging, and therefore if you have any brightening solution, our customers will check this out as well, because it's something that's frequently asked. Also at our stores, people, they come to us, they say they have some pigment spots, they want to get rid of it. And it's difficult to find a solution on the European markets. Therefore, that's where K-beauty jumps in and can offer the customer a solution. Also, the consistency, like I've mentioned before, but it's quite different from the normal Korean trend, which is more like a dewy finish. So people in Europe, they prefer this matte finish. That's something sometimes a little bit different, and some people, therefore, they're buying more the liquid products, and especially at the makeup section, it's quite difficult to sell something, but at least these light consistencies are very popular, and therefore people are very confident and very satisfied with the quality, and therefore it's just a small point to the general experience of K-beauty. So the reasonable pricing is a very good point as well. Most Korean brands, they have like normal pricing, and it's easier to sell a product if it's not like 60 euros a serum, but lasts like 25 euros, for example. Just to give you an example, is a good price range to start, and in combination with natural ingredients, you will be successful on the European market. Also, like Eunmi already mentioned, sustainability is something our customers ask more frequently, and the cruelty-free section, in addition, it's not only about cruelty-free. Some customers, they also ask, and they want to know if the product is distributed in China as well. So it's different if you distribute in Hong Kong. I mean, there is no animal testing, but if you want to distribute in China, and if you have a distributor there, sometimes the products are tested afterwards in China and on animals. And this one, it's difficult to control this market. It's very difficult, and I know it's forbidden in the EU, but means if we purchase a product directly in Korea and we ship it to the German market, it's not tested on animals, but some customers are really conscious, they're into it. And therefore, if we want to be a really clean beauty brand, it's something people love to see if the brand also prohibits the distribution on the Chinese market. So the new trends, it's not only about clean beauty, which is my main point. because customers are checking the ingredients quite often nowadays, but it's also about retinol. And I'm really happy to see that many brands like KOTRA and Eunmi, they launched a retinol product frequently, or and yes, these are the main points which customers are looking for. So maybe in regard to your new product you're launching in the future, this one is quite interesting for you, because people are always checking ingredients. And also at our stores in Frankfurt, for example, we have some customers, they come into our store, they want to have a specific ingredient, and sometimes they say, well, I want a cream but without silicone. So there's something very difficult. You have to find a suitable product for this customer. Therefore, it's easier if you have a bunch of products, and it's not only 2 products, but more products without harmful ingredients. I mean, silicones, of course, they're not named as harmful, but they're not environmental friendly. So I would love to see if some products without these ingredients would be launched in the future. It means clean beauty in Europe, like Eunmi already said, there's not a ultimate definition of clean beauty, but in general, you can say that natural ingredients are preferred, that ingredients like vitamin B5 here, the pentanol, or vitamin B3, they're okay. Effective ingredients are always popular. Glycol is also inside. Everything fine, but especially these ingredients should not be included. Means no denatured alcohol. There's also a difference in the fatty alcohol and the silicone normal alcohol. So therefore, I know it's a theme of, or a subject, an issue of creams. You won't find a cream without a fatty alcohol, and therefore, but you should try to avoid the denatured alcohol, also parabens, something which is not very often used in Korea, which is a good point, and also mineral oil and fragrance. I know that many brands nowadays, they try to avoid fragrance, and therefore they try to meet the customer's needs. This one is something we call Code Check. It's an app. So this one is an addition to the conscious consumer, which is entering the local shop and then he starts to check every ingredient. So I have read a lot about ingredients. I do not need something like this, but the normal customers, he needs a helping hand with the ingredients normally. And they start to check, they just scan the barcode. It's easy. You have it on your mobile phone and you can check what's inside. Is there any harmful ingredient inside? What does this ingredient do? So you can click on the specific ingredient and you can check. So therefore, it's very important to have some offers, some products which do not include any harmful ingredients. Because if the customer sees, oh, my app says it's harmful, I will not buy it. And that's a huge issue for some brands. And especially this app, it rates like perfume is red most of the time. It's specific like parabens, etc. So the best is if you have everything in green, but you can check out their website. It's like codecheck.com, and you can see which ingredients are rated as harmful, which are not. So maybe good to know for you as a brand developer. So finally, if you have a great product, it's CPMP registered, you have great ingredients and so on, and you want to establish your brand on the European market, you have to do some marketing. And that's what I'm going to talk now about. So if we start with our test order and we start to launch the product at our B2B channel, I mean, many B2B partners are able to purchase it immediately, the product. They have their own websites as well. For example, our Spanish distributor Skin Things, she has a huge shop in Spain. So therefore, the product will be promoted on a specific market. But to increase the brand's awareness, you should do some marketing related to the European market as well. Means you start, it's the cheapest way to start with a monobrand website. The customer is able to Google it a little bit easier, this brand, to look up what's the product about, what is the idea behind this brand. Is there a story? Also something, the brand story, very important. Is there like a family business behind? Is there something you can do a marketing with? Is there any story? So it's not only about the aspects of a brand. Is it sustainable? But also, is there a real human behind? Is there something why I should buy this brand and why I should support this brand? So therefore, monobrand websites, people can check it out. These ones are just examples from Misha, Dador, and Benton, but we have various other monobrand websites as well. And like I said, it's the cheapest version at first. Then we go to the social media marketing, which becomes more important these days, but is quite expensive if you want to do a professional marketing. So if you want a very famous YouTuber or a very famous Instagram influencer, you say like 200,000 followers only on Instagram, for example, you will pay for only one post with a story, maybe you will pay about 2,000 euros for only this one. So you have to be aware that professional marketing on the European market is quite expensive, but it's worth it because people afterwards, we recognized when we cooperate with Farina Beam, for example. She's very popular. She's a model and she's also popular in Korea a little bit. She has a Korean boyfriend and a YouTube channel with over 1 million followers. And we recognized that more people were aware about our store and that now they check out the products more intensively. And this is how it works nowadays. There's someone who is quite famous, people know him or her, and they trust this person, so they will purchase the product afterwards. But you have to be aware of the costs, which include this kind of marketing. So we do basic marketing for brands, but it's more, it would be more favorable if the brand also supports this. If you want to enter the European market and you do not want to pay too much for marketing, it will grow a little bit slowly, which is fine as well, but you always have to take this into account and say, how fast do I want to grow? How fast do I want to establish this brand? So it means advertising as well, means Facebook and Instagram ads. These are very successful. We do this, for example, for Misha and for Isntree, we have done this. And this one is just to reach more people, but you have to know these ads are shown to people who are really interested in skincare, who are interested in K-beauty, and therefore they can click on your profile, they can click on the product directly. This one is something we do as well, and which increases the brand's awareness. But also here, it starts at least with 2,000 euro per campaign. So also this one here, sometimes we support these kind of activities. Sometimes the brand in Korea supports these kind of activities, always depending on how fast the brand wants to grow. And we have also promotions. So, I mean, FOC products are offered quite often to us, but it's not only about FOC. Of course, we can use them for end customers, which are already entering the stores, our local stores. They get a free product according to their order amount, and then they can test out a specific product. Will increase the brand's awareness as well, and is one of the more cheaper versions regarding to the marketing. And especially a lot of sachets, people are asking about these little pouches. They want to test out the product, but you have to keep in mind, we distribute these products not only to B2C clients, also to our B2B clients who are referring them again to their B2C clients. So it will help to increase the brand's awareness, but it's not like a huge marketing when you're like having a huge campaign, which is more visible to every customer. So this one is more located to customers which already know the Korean beauty. But it's a good way and a cheap way to enter European market and to do some marketing. Also free samples, which showed great success in the past. We have B2B clients with their own marketing strategy. I mean, everyone, if we split the costs, everyone can take a part and we can share the costs. So these B2B clients, they receive 1 unit of all bestsellers, for example. They're able to test. Afterwards, they're able to purchase at LHBG. And so you can also increase the sales numbers and also increase brand awareness. Well, hopefully it was not too long. I tried to keep it short. Thank you for your attention and thanks for your time, and hopefully have a great evening.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for your great presentation and your for sharing your valuable experiences with our audiences. I'm sure this was a great content for us. And if you have further questions for Sarah, please feel free to share them in the discussion box, and we will now cover them in the upcoming panel discussion. Now we will start with our panel discussion. We've learned a lot about the EU market demands and about the certification and also about purchasing behavior and so on. And now it's time to hear your questions and also dive deeper into the topics regarding marketing, market chances, regulations, and category popularity and the current trends. So the first question I want to ask is for Max. Will brands with non-specific sustainable footprint still have a potential market in 10 years with the current market trends towards sustainability?
Well, that is a very good question. Because it is hard to answer because I don't have I can't look into the future. 10 years is a lot of time, and we really have to see. We see already now that over the last few years, or especially now after the Corona crisis, how our young generation or the younger generation really wants to drastically change the environment and the standards and to protect our environment, to protect our climate. So therefore, of course, it's like the market for sustainable products will really increase, or like in my opinion, will really increase much higher than the general market for beauty cosmetics. I mean, if we look at the market, the skincare market or cosmetics market in general will still increase over the next years, especially in Germany or also in Europe in general. But the potential for sustainable products will be much higher than the average market. So of course, in 10 years, there will still be enough products or like enough potential for most likely all cosmetic brands in general, and the change will not be completely done yet. But of course, if you look in the long run and if you want to focus on sustainability, you have a much higher likelihood to be successful in the long run, and even longer than 10 years. So in my opinion, change cannot be done that quickly, and there will still be potential for brands that do not focus on that. But yeah, sooner or later, there will be a change.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. I think it's about taking a long-term strategy and it's also about taking baby steps. It starts from being aware of what is going currently on. And I think that directly links to the next question I want to ask you. So what are the measures brands can take to promote themselves well in the current changing environment in regards to sustainability?
First of all, Yeah, also a good question, because like even if I am sustainable, even if I focus on natural ingredients, on sustainability when getting the ingredients in as well, like, so there are brands. The problem is, okay, how does the end customer will know about it? The easiest way to promote it is like if you focus on the packaging and have a sustainable packaging and state it as well on the packaging, because the customer will see it. Yeah, we just recently talked with Lea from the KOTRA as well, and you Hirari in a talk together when we're sitting together. There's like so many options and inventions of Korean brands really focusing on packaging as well now and having new ways for sustainable packaging. This is incredible. And the problem is, okay, the end customer sometimes doesn't see it. So the goal is also like use your channels, use your availabilities to also talk about it. If you do something good, you are also allowed to talk about it. I know Eunmi earlier said, for example, that there's a lot of greenwashing with clean beauty, and that is correct as well, because like there's no definition. It is easy, like for many companies to say, oh, we're clean, and we're not 100% clean, because no one even knows what it means. But if you really focus something and do the extra mile and do something more than the average market competitor, feel free to talk about it. Feel free to educate your customers and use your channels, use your brands, use your micro influencers or end consumers as well to talk about it. And if you have something positive to share, people tend to also share it and are happy to share it as well.
Yes, I think sharing is the most crucial element to gain, to make some changes for your company and the environment, and also for the customers. And I think I will ask Eunmi about the packaging regulation later on. But before that, I want to ask you a question, which is from the Q&A box. And since 2014, subscription boxes are popular in the US, in which random products are placed. Is the random box business widely used in Europe to introduce new products? And this is for you, Max.
Oh, I thought you were.
Sorry.
Excuse me, I was mixed up for a second. I thought this question was still for me. Can you please repeat it for me, please?
Yes, no worries. So since 2014, subscription boxes are popular in the US, and in which random products are being placed. And is this random box business widely used in Europe to introduce new products?
Yes, exactly. That is true. It is a trend that stems from the US market, and it's why probably many of the manufacturers or producers here know about it. It is a trend that we adapted on the German market, and in our opinion, it's a very important step if you enter a market to a new if you enter Germany as a new market. As I talked earlier about the Germans being very having a test culture, and where trust is a very important factor on buying products or becoming loyal to a brand. They really, to an extent, like to test out products. They like to test out new products, but they're very, as I said as well, very cautious on the other hand, and sticking to sticking to their routine. So testing is the best way, and allowing test contacts is the best way for consumers to test out new products and deciding for their own to actually like it or not, and having then the chance to become a client in the long run. So that's why we believe that our boxes, and we have other measures as well to get consumers test your products, in our opinion, is one of the most important factors when entering the German market.
I think it's also from that, it's about creating trust and also getting feedback from your customers.
Exactly, like the feedback, of course, is very insightful for the brands in the end, and for us in the end, where the market is leading to. But as you said, the trust, because trust is so important for German customers. And of course, if there's a new brand that they don't know anything about, how can they trust it? If they don't know it, if they haven't tested it, they wouldn't buy it. So having the chance to test the product, or having a friend who recommends a product is two very important factors, or like key factors when purchasing new products, and especially in Germany at least. So if I have a friend who tests out a product, but how did he find out? So he had to test the product himself as well. So this is like where we also believe that mouth-to-mouth communication and marketing is very, very important.
That's correct, yeah. In regards to trust and transparency, I want to ask Eunmi this time about the packaging regulations. And my question would be, what are your advices regarding packaging due to the new packaging regulation in the EU market launched in May this year to reduce waste?
Okay, so as you may be aware, in May of this year, like you just said, Germany has updated the packaging law to comply with the 2 EU directives. So it existed before, but Germany has updated the regulation, namely the 2019 Single-Use Plastic Directive and the Waste Framework Directive. But before, it is important to note that EU directives are not laws, but it's instructions to EU member states that set out a goal that all EU countries must achieve. So it is then up to the individual countries to write their own laws in order to reach these goals, and they have a certain flexibility in this regard. So the individual laws may actually differ from country to country within a certain common framework. And yeah, I'm actually, I still have to explain. So that's why the local distributors is responsible for the recycling and the environmental obligation. The rules differ from member state to the member state. So Germany is not the same as Belgium. So, but of course there are some common elements. So I think because of time limit, I will go to the point actually. So for main effects for cosmetic products, such as wet wipes, is on marking and labeling requirements, which states that product labels need to report the presence of plastic in the product, and you need to report how to deal with the proper disposal of the product. And you also need to highlight also the negative effects on the environment if the material isn't so handled correctly after use. So, but the directive also gives us some details on harmonized marking specifications like position, size, and design on your packaging for the single-use plastic products. So, and the other important effect of the directive on cosmetic product is what is called extended producer responsibility. It's very important. This means that the producers of a single-use plastic products have to cover costs that are created in connection with awareness raising measures, with the cleaning up, transportation, and treatment of litter, and with the gathering and reporting. So based on this information, I would like to advise the 3 things to cosmetic brands. So first, inform yourself about your packaging. So you know if there's any rules apply to you, and if they do, consider packaging alternatives. So there is also a marketing dimension to this, as I mentioned during my presentation, because consumers increasingly value environmental friendly packaging. So from a sales perspective, it might be also your interest anyways to choose environmental friendly packaging. And second, engage with your distributor to make sure they are aware of the country specific regulations, like Verpackungsgesetz in Germany, in this case. And third, ensure you understand the production chain, that fits into your production and its packaging. And to conclude, the EU regulatory landscape is frequently changing, and the packaging laws are only one example. So it's very important to ensure that you and your products are up to date. So to help you with this, our regulatory experts at Biorius monitor the regulation and publish articles of changes as soon as it's detected. So you can visit our website and subscribe to our information letter, which should keep you informed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all about engaging and about being aware of what is currently going on in the law as well. And we also have several questions regarding labeling for you and me. And could you kindly explain the labeling regarding languages and what are the requirements for the EU?
Okay, so I received a lot of questions regarding labelings, and it's very good because it's very, very important. Because a label is something, it can be first target in case of authority inspection because they can directly see the label from the product once they obtain your product. So it's very important. Let me share my screen to be more specific. This is the table, summarized table. I don't know if you see my,
Yes.
Yeah, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So there are two categories. There's a mandatory information and voluntary information. So mandatory information would be responsible person's address and country of origin, like made in Korea, and net weight, PAO. For your information, the expiry date is not mandatory. We use more PAO after the period after opening. And the warnings, it can be mandatory for some product, but it's not always mandatory. And batch number is automatically on your packaging and the carton, and product function is normally presented in your product name, and translation depends where you place your product, and INCI list. The INCI list is ingredient list. So these informations are considered as a mandatory information, but in addition to this information, such as marketing claims or how to use, what else? Some other text on your packaging, they are voluntary information. So they, if you put something, you must translate into the national languages on the country. So it can be for Belgium, it can be French and Dutch and German. In Germany, it will be German. In Italy, it's Italian. So yes, it is mandatory to translate, but it depends also if you put voluntary data or not. So for some products, you only have the mandatory information, and some vegan symbol, for example, clean logos. So you do not need to translate, actually nothing. So it depends on how much the voluntary information you put on your packaging. And I also have a Korean version. So here, I think after the presentation, we can also share this information because it's very important. So the cosmetic brands, they know what to add. Normally, the Korean cosmetic brands, they make a sticker on the carton and the bottles, and it is mandatory. And then this information should be there. And I have received some questions about some free samples. Some importers, they just take your product, they import the product without any labeling or even without CPMP registration, but it's not allowed. Even if it's not for sale, if you want to give away for free, or if you want to test, if you want to give it for test, a consumer test, it's the CPMP and PIF are required.
Should the importer's details also be included in the labeling?
Sorry?
Should the importer's details also be included in the label?
No. Only responsible person address needs to be there. So if your responsible person is importer, yes, of course, you have to put your responsible person on the label, but it will be just the name of the company, RP, and colon, and name of the company and address. So it can be very short. It doesn't always have to be very long. So cosmetic brands sometimes think there's a lot of the text to be in the label, but it is actually not so much. So only RP address is mandatory to display on your label.
And should ingredients also be, so ingredients are in English as standard on the package of a company, and should they add ingredients in other languages as well?
No, it's just that there's a one INCI list for European standard. So it can differ from Korean one. Even if you write in English, it can be different from Korean one and EU INCI list. So in most of cases it's different. So you have to make sure that you have the INCI list of a European standard from European standard. So and this doesn't need to be translated. It's just one international for EU. Yeah.
And is there a required font size as well?
Sorry?
Is there a required font size?
There's no, it's very good because you can make it as small as possible, but it has to be readable. So if you can read, it's fine. So for example, for the makeup product, it's very small. You have a very little space to apply the label. So a lot of brands, they really reduce the claims. The voluntary information, they really reduce and only display the mandatory information. And a lot of brands, they use like a 6, the font size 6, because it's very small, but you can still read.
And there is another question for you and me. What will happen if our products would be sold without a local label, or if the label is different from the CPNP registration?
Oh, it's illegal. I got email from one distributor yesterday in Germany because one of my clients' products are inspected by German authorities. Nowadays I receive a lot of inspection from the authorities because the label is in the plastic bag, but not applied on the secondary, I mean the carton and the bottle. So because you have to display the mandatory information on the bottle and the primary, but they didn't, so they are in trouble now. So I have to contact the authority to explain, but the brand didn't not follow the regulatory advice, so we cannot do anything because they're selling the product without the labeling obligation. They didn't respect. So I think I will see what authority will do, but it's clearly against the law. So we really do not recommend that you expect, okay, maybe, the authority will not control, but it's really nowadays from the customs or even little shop, the authority especially the German authorities, they go to the little shop and they buy 2 products and then they test themselves and they make a whole reports. And then and if there's a problem, they contact the responsible person to ask some substandard explanation, the document. So it's really recommended to follow the rule, make sure that you have a compliance PIF, you have the compliant labeling and a good responsible person.
Thank you. I think this has given us all great guidance on how to start preparing for the EU market. And now I want to switch to Sarah. I have a few questions for you. So which product categories are getting more popular these days, which were not popular before? Is there a trend change?
Yes, so I have to say it's more like hair care, which is more popular nowadays. Before, Korean beauty was all about skincare, all about the 10 steps. Now it's more hair care or also body care as well. Cosmetics means point makeup, like lipsticks, for example. Despite the pandemic, they're quite demanded, and customers love these typical lip tints from Korea. It's product you can't purchase normally in Europe. So normal European brands, they have like lipstick for years now, and they love this idea of a product which soaks, or your skin absorbs this color, and then you have the color on it for several hours. So something like this, or typical natural cushion makeup, or the natural light pale colors. So we have pale people here as well. Me, for example, I'm like shade 13, and it's really pale, and here in Europe I cannot find a suitable makeup, so I'm always using Korean makeup. Therefore, this section is also becoming more popular, because if a customer finds out that Korean products are suitable and they love the ingredients, so they will keep purchasing it, and it becomes more popular because they recommend it to their friends and stuff. And so these maybe categories are more popular these days.
I think, I think beauty has changed a bit from now. People are trying to have a more natural look than before, and also, and I think people are getting more conscious in what they are using, as you said, about the ingredients as well, and about this natural finish look. And I think that is the key regarding to the trend which is changing nowadays. And in regards to that, I want to ask you, which other market trends are visible next to the sustainability movement? Is there any other market trends you can see?
Oh, it depends on. It's really depending on the customers, but mostly at the moment it's clean beauty. It's really, they're checking every ingredient. So I love to work at our local store in Frankfurt from time to time, just to get an overview. What's the customer needing now? What's he asking? And these days there are so many questions about the ingredients. So the customer enters the local shop and directly starts with, do you have a product without this, without that, and without that? So then you have to look it up. You have to be aware what's inside. So this is still a huge topic. Even Sephora, I mean, Eunmi already mentioned it. They reformulated their own brand as well, and they try to meet the customer's need regarding to the ingredients. So this one, and the trend also, like I said, it's all about ingredients and also about brightening, and about products which you're not able to purchase normally here in Europe. So if you have a product which is available here on the market for years now, they do the marketing, they have it, and you can buy like 20,000 various products which have the same effect, you will not be able to place the same product again and say, well, this one is better, but why? People will check, they will check everything, and it's quite difficult to enter the market in this way. But if you have a product which is different, which is specific, and you have a specific effect, something which is not very common here, but people are asking about it, then you're free to go. That's why the essences from Korea sell this well, because customers, they come into the store, they check the liquidity of the product or the viscosity. And so if it's a light consistency, and it's a natural extract, it's very easy for them to love this product. They say, well, I haven't tried something similar in Germany before, or in Europe in general, and they will keep purchasing a product like this.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I could
Yes.
quickly add as well here. Besides like the clean beauty like in ingredients in products, people are also more and more like questioning or like asking about, how did you grow the product? Where are the ingredients coming from? Is also already the plantation of the products or ingredients, is that already sustainable? So they really not only question the ingredients, but also the supply chain behind it, to see, is that sustainable, is that natural, do they care about environment? So people or like consumers are also looking into the brands to find out if the companies are doing something for the environment as well, if they do like social projects, the customer, the company's social responsibilities and environmental responsibilities are so increasing, because it is so easy nowadays to find it out as well, right? Like I can so quickly check out the brands, and people are aware of that and want to check that. But yeah, as Sarah as well mentioned, regarding like trends or like ingredients of the products, like what trends are there besides sustainability, is like especially ingredient based. Like, so like, is there quick effects, as Sarah mentioned, like quick or direct effects that you can feel if you apply the product and next morning you already feel a change or something. But also like now I lost my point, what I want to say, but yeah, like especially like what she said, like how does it feel when they apply it? How is it feeling on the skin? And very important for Germans as well, like what at least we have found out or realized, maybe Sarah can yeah, state that as well, is scent. People love to smell products as well. The scent in Germany is very important for customers, because it's the overall feeling. If I apply it, it has a nice feeling on my skin, and then it actually also smells very good, positive and fresh. So the whole combination then gives them already a vibe like, oh, this is a good treatment for my skin, for myself. It's a spa treatment at home, because the whole feeling together in the end is important.
Yes, maybe in addition to the scent, you have to know that you shouldn't use perfume. Essential oils are okay, but we have some very picky customers. They don't want essential oils. So at least, to sum it up, it has to have a very pleasant smell. Even if it's a slight smell, scent, then it's fine, and the customer will buy the product. That's why we're happy to have local shops, because people, they love to try out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's about beauty is also about how you feel with it, and also beauty with wellness. It's correlated, and I think also, as Max has clearly stated before, I think also sustainability is something beyond the packaging. It's something beyond the ingredients. It's also about the culture of the company, and I think that all integrates together, and they can't be separated from one another. And I think that's a very crucial point you have made, and also Sarah, about how beauty meets with wellness, and how how people should feel good in it when they use it. And I think that's a good point made from you too. And I want to ask the last question for Sarah. Could you kindly explain how you get to know so much details about the customer's desires and the needs of the products?
Oh, it depends on. So on the one hand, I started as a store manager during my master degrees. I started as a store manager in Frankfurt, and there, if you work directly with the customer, I mean, it was not my field at all. I started to do something very different, and I wasn't into cosmetics before. I started in 2016, so it's not that long, but I was very conscious when I met K-Beauty for the first time about ingredients, because I thought it's maybe something Asian and you don't know what's inside. So I tried to check out every ingredient for myself. So it was personal interest on the one hand. Then I started to work with the customers in Frankfurt, and suddenly it grew. And I knew a lot of Korean brands before, but from year to year, and it continuously increased, I was more aware of the ingredients. So I started Googling everything, started to check what's the newest trend. So I'm following also some magazines like The Business of Fashion to try to understand the market. Not only they have a whole bunch of articles about customers, what they need. They also recognize that there's a shift during this pandemic. People are consuming less clothes or fashion, investing more into their beauty. What we also recognize, I have our system there as well. In addition, I can check the data at our system and I see people are, what are they looking for? What are they searching at our box? What are they, maybe what's their desire? And you try to find out, and we work with the customer, also with B2B clients. Some of the B2B clients, they contact me directly and ask me, do you have a brand which could suit to our marketing claim? So we have a B2B customer, he's only offering vegan products, only offering cruelty-free, and they do not, for example, do not distribute products which are also sold in China. So it's all about research and a lot of marketing investigation. Also, I'm checking Olive Young. So if your brand, if you have a Korean brand and it's already launched at Olive Young, or if a Korean YouTuber who also speaks English, that would be great, because people here in Europe, nearly everyone can speak English and they check the Korean market as well. So it's easier to enter this market as well. It's a lot of Google research.
So I think it's about interest and also about having a close relationship with your customers. And that's how you got your knowledge. And yeah, thank you for sharing, Sarah. Yes, I think due to the time, I want to wrap up the panel discussion and the Q&A session. Thank you all very much for your time and interest in today's event. You will receive a follow-up email from us, including the information documents provided by great speakers and also the recorded Zoom webinar file. 오늘 안내 드렸다시피 설문지를 11월 10일까지 보내드려 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그럼 저희 무역관에서 직접 대응하고 또 추후로 답변을 드릴 예정입니다. Yes, Eunmi Book, Sarah Viertel, and Maximilian Dornbusch, we thank you all very much for your time, and we much appreciate your efforts to support the Korean cosmetic brands and companies here in the EU market. And we wish you a wonderful day, and please always stay healthy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, and have a great evening.
Thank you, you too.